Coronation Street's Ryan Connor is left furious next week as Carl Webster sacks him from the hotel, but is the villain getting ahead of himself? Ryan becomes the first major casualty as Carl plots a shake-up at the hotel after cruelly trying to blackmail his mum Debbie. In upcoming scenes, Carl reckons that he has leverage over Debbie and orders her to sign over half of the Chariot Square Hotel to him. Wasting no time in winding up his longtime nemesis Ryan, callous Carl heads straight to the hotel bar and helps himself to a drink. Ryan tries to intervene, but Carl boldly declares that he now owns the place. When Carl goes a step further and tries to boss him around, it's clear that a confused Ryan won't cooperate. The dispute escalates quickly, with Carl telling Ryan that he's fired. Watch a sneak peek of the scene below. Spoilers for next week's episodes have already revealed that Carl's reign of terror at the Chariot Square Hotel may not last for long. When Debbie finally stands up to her wayward son, she warns him that he's not getting his hands on her beloved hotel. However, she does offer him some cash on the condition that, if he takes it, she never wants to see him again. What will Carl decide? One thing's for sure, Carl may be running out of time to redeem himself. Show bosses have named him as one of 5 characters who could be killed on the day of Carla Connor and Lisa Swain's wedding next week. We'll get our first hint at the murder plot in the wedding episode itself, as a mysterious scream can be heard in the distance during the reception at Underworld. The week afterwards, a series of 5 special episodes will follow the stories of Carl, Jodie Ramsey, Maggie Driscoll, Megan Walsh and Theo Silverton as we finally discover which of them is about to take their last breath. Across 5 nights later this month, viewers will revisit the same day, but each episode will be seen from the perspective of a different potential victim, a Corey statement recently teased. At the end of the week, Betsy Swain will find one of them dead and the hunt to find the killer will begin. In the ever-dramatic world of Coronation Street, tensions are set to explode as Carl Webster makes a ruthless move that leaves Ryan Connor's future hanging by a thread. Just when Ryan thought he had found some stability at the Chariot Square Hotel, a shocking twist changes everything, and it all comes down to Carl. Fans of Weatherfield know that business and family drama often go hand in hand, but this latest fallout proves that loyalty means very little when pride and power are involved. Carl Webster, never one to back down from confrontation, takes matters into his own hands in scenes that promise serious consequences. Ryan Connor has been trying to rebuild his life after months of emotional turmoil. Between personal heartbreak, family stress, and the constant pressure of proving himself, working at the hotel seemed like a fresh start. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave him purpose, and most importantly, independence. However, peace in Weatherfield never lasts long. Carl Webster arrives with his usual confident swagger, determined to make his mark and remind everyone exactly who he is. Known for his sharp tongue and even sharper decisions, Carl wastes no time asserting his authority. While some residents are willing to tolerate his attitude, Ryan quickly finds himself on the wrong side of Carl's temper. At first, the tension seems manageable. A few snide comments. A disagreement over responsibilities. The usual workplace friction. But beneath the surface, something far more dangerous is brewing. Carl begins questioning Ryan's reliability, criticizing his work ethic and making it clear he doesn't believe Ryan is up to the job. Ryan, already feeling the pressure, tries to stay calm, but Carl's relentless attitude pushes him closer to breaking point. Things spiral when a hotel issue turns into a public embarrassment. An important booking goes wrong, tempers flare, and Carl sees the perfect opportunity to make an example of Ryan. Instead of dealing with the matter privately, he humiliates Ryan in front of colleagues and guests, making it painfully clear that he sees him as the problem. For Ryan, it's devastating. He tries to defend himself, insisting the mistake wasn't entirely his fault, but Carl refuses to listen. In his eyes, someone has to take the blame, and Ryan is the easiest target. Then comes the bombshell. In a brutal confrontation, Carl tells Ryan that he's finished. No second chances. No discussion. Just like that, Ryan Connor is sacked. The moment leaves Ryan stunned. After everything he's been through, losing his job feels like another cruel blow. It's not just about money, it's about dignity. About being trusted. About finally moving forward. Instead, he's left standing there, humiliated and furious. Word spreads quickly across Weatherfield, and reactions are immediate. Some believe Carl has gone too far. Others wonder if Ryan should have seen it coming. Friends rally around him, but sympathy doesn't pay the bills. Ryan is forced to face a harsh reality. Once again, his life has been thrown into chaos. Naturally, this decision doesn't go unnoticed by the Connor family. Questions are asked. Sides are taken. And before long, Carl finds himself facing backlash from people who aren't afraid to challenge him. Ryan may be down, but he's far from alone. What makes the situation even more explosive is the suspicion that Carl's decision may not be entirely professional. Was Ryan really fired because of a hotel mistake? Or is there something more personal behind Carl's actions? Fans know that in Coronation Street, motivations are rarely simple. Old grudges, hidden jealousy, and family politics often drive decisions far more than logic ever could. Carl's cold behavior raises eyebrows, and many begin to suspect he had already decided Ryan had to go long before the incident happened. If that's true, Ryan's dismissal could be the start of a much bigger feud. And Ryan himself isn't likely to stay silent. Though hurt and angry, Ryan has never been someone who gives up easily. Being sacked may be the end of one chapter, but it could also be the spark that pushes him to fight back. Whether that means exposing Carl, seeking revenge, or rebuilding stronger than ever, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. There's also the emotional fallout to consider. Ryan has spent so long trying to prove his worth, both to others and to himself. Losing his job risks dragging him back into self-doubt and isolation. For viewers who have followed his journey, this setback feels particularly painful because it threatens the progress he worked so hard to make. But soap fans know that sometimes the darkest moments lead to the biggest comebacks. Could this be the turning point Ryan needs? Could losing everything force him to discover a new path, one even better than the one he thought he wanted? Meanwhile, Carl's decision may come back to haunt him. Power can be addictive, but it also creates enemies. By humiliating Ryan so publicly, Carl may have won the battle, but he could be setting himself up to lose the war. Weatherfield residents have long memories, and arrogance rarely goes unpunished. If Carl thinks this is the end of the story, he may be in for a nasty surprise. As viewers prepare for these dramatic scenes, one thing is clear: the hotel twist is about much more than a job. It's about control, respect, and the dangerous consequences of underestimating someone who has nothing left to lose. Ryan Connor's world has been turned upside down once again, but sometimes being pushed to the edge is exactly what creates a fighter. And if Carl Webster believes he's seen the last of Ryan, he clearly hasn't been paying attention. Because in Weatherfield, revenge has a habit of checking in when you least expect it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation.